In today's video, I'm going to show you how to make what I call the onion family. I made the pattern up myself, so you won't find it anywhere else out there. So we've got daddy, mummy, child, and a baby onion. We have got saffron, is lovely to work with. The 100% cotton, it's so soft and never snags. I'm going to be having a 2mm hook, obviously my needle to sew in and sew the nose on, scissors, safety eyes, but if you haven't got safety eyes you can do French knots, and my stitch marker. A little bit of modelling wire. This is purely just to make the glasses, and a pencil so that you can wrap the wire around to make the shape, and obviously a bit of stuffing. So we're going to be concentrating on Daddy Onion, and for the rest of them I'm just going to put a pattern up on my Ravelry if you wanted to complete the family. Now we need to start with the nose so we have it ready in place for later on when we're working our way up the body. So we need to do a magic circle. And if you need more help with a magic circle, I do have a separate video up there which is in depth for you. And in this magic circle, we're going to be doing 5 single crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And it's at this point we need to add our stitch marker in and pull the tail closed like so. For row 2 we're going to increase into every stitch, so we're going to end up with 10 single crochets in this round. So this is our first one. We're going to put 2 in every stitch. That's 1, 2, 3, oops, come off my hook, that's number 3, and number 4, and 6, 7, and 8. And then we need to take our stitch marker out to do our last 2 stitches, which will be our 9 and 10. So now you've completed round 2. Just remember, always put your stitch marker back in. Now for round 3 we're going to do 1 single crochet followed by 1 increase. So in the first stitch we're doing 1 single crochet, and then in the second stitch we are going to do 2 single crochets because that's going to be your increase. 1, 2, and we just follow that all the way around, so we have 1 single crochet and 1 increase. 1 single crochet and 1 increase. And you will always end up under your hook on an increase. Like so. Now for row 4 and 5 we're just going to put 1 single crochet into every stitch. So we know now we have 15 single crochets in the round at the moment. So you're going to work your way around for 2 whole rows, and I'll meet you back at the end of row 5 under your stitch marker. Row 6 we're going to do 1 single crochet, and then we're going to do a decrease. So we're going to start making the entrance a bit smaller. So that was our first single crochet, and then I'm going to pick up these front 2 loops of the next 2 stitches, pull it through 2, pull it through 2, 1 single crochet, and then a decrease, so if you want to follow it round, I'll meet you back under your stitch marker. This is row 7. We're going to be doing the last 10 single crochets, and then we're just going to cut the yarn. You need to cut quite a length so that you've got it ready to sew it onto the front of your onion. So we're just going to work around the top, make it all nice and even with 10 single crochets. So once you finish, just cut your yarn and I'll meet you there. Okay, that's our nose finished. I'm just going to pop a little bit of stuffing in there, and then we can put it aside for when we're ready. There we go. A nice stubby nose, like so. We're going to start with the row 1 of the body. We're going to do the underneath to begin with. So again, we need to do a magic circle. We're going to be working in the rounds. And in this magic circle, we need 6 single crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, and we add our stitch marker. Row 2, we're going to do an increase in every stitch, so we're going to change our 6 up to 12. So every stitch has 2 in it now, like so. Just keep working your way around. Now I'm not going to make you sit and watch me do all this. You can just hit pause and meet me back under the stitch marker. 3, we're going to be doing 1 single crochet and then our increase, and we're going to repeat that pattern all the way around. So 1 in the first one, 2 in the second one, 1 in the third one, 2 in the fourth one. So if you carry on, I'll meet you again back under your stitch marker. Into row 4, we're going to be doing 2 single crochets and then our increase. So there's 1, 2, and then 2 single crochets into the third stitch. And you're going to follow that pattern all the way around. Again, hit pause and I'll meet you under your stitch marker once you finish the whole round. Onto row 5, 3 single crochets and then your increase. So 1, 2, 3, and then an increase in this number 4 stitch. And you're going to repeat that all the way around. Row 6, we're on to 4 single crochets and then your increase. So we have 1 stitch marker's getting in my way, 2, 3, 4, and then your increase. So again, you carry on with that pattern and I will meet you at the beginning of the next row. Row 7, we are up to 5 single crochets before our increase. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then an increase in the next stitch. So if you'd like to carry on with that pattern, and again, I'll meet you on the next row. To row 8, and you guessed it, 6 single crochets and then an increase. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and our increase in this one. So if you want to carry on, I'll meet you at the beginning of the next row. Okay, for row 9 we're going to be working in these back loops only, all the way around. So you want to go through the back loop, yarn up and pull through for your single crochet. And there's going to be 48 in this whole round, so you need to carry on working around. And what it's going to create is this line here, so that obviously when you push the bottom in a bit more, it's got a nice area for sitting flat. So if you carry on going round, you've got 48 back loop onlys to do. Now into row 10 we're going to do both loops again now, and we're going to do 7 single crochets and then an increase. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7, and then 2 in this next stitch here. So you carry on round, I'll meet you at the beginning of your next row. Row 11 we are going to do a whole row of single crochets, so we are going to be ending up with 54 single crochets all the way around. So if you want to carry on, I'll meet you on the next one. Now row 12 we're going to be doing 8 single crochets before our increase. This is our last increase round. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then our increase in this next stitch here. We're putting 2. So if you carry on, I'll meet you at the beginning of your next row. Now for rows 13 through to 20, that's the next 8 rounds, we're just doing 1 single crochet into every stitch. So I need you to work your way around for 60 single crochets in every round for 8 rounds, and I will meet you back at the beginning of row 21. Now we're on row 21, we're going to be doing 8 single crochets and then a decrease. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and I'm going to do an invisible decrease, so we need the front loops of the next 2 stitches. 1, 2, and that is your decrease. So if you want to carry on 8 single crochets and a decrease, I will meet you back under your stitch marker. Row 22 we're going to be doing a single crochet round, so we're going to be doing 54 single crochets all the way around. So I'll let you carry on with that one and I'll meet you back at the beginning of our next row. Row 23 is going to be 7 single crochets and then your decrease. Got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then our decrease is the front loops of the next 2 stitches. So if you want to carry on, 7 single crochets followed by a decrease, and I'll meet you at the beginning of your next round. Row 24 we've got another single crochet round. So if you want to carry on all the way around, this should be 48 single crochets. It's at this point that I'm going to be adding my nose and my eyes. So what we do is we work out where it jumps from where we made the change, and we want to go opposite, so we know that's at the back. So we're going about here, and then we can see we've got a nice concave bit here. Now your eyes need to be between rows 21 and 22, and we know that we've just finished row 24, so we can go 24, 23, 22, 21. This is where it needs to go, between here. So I'm guessing the eyes are going to be about this far apart. So to begin with, I'm going to add the nose. Now I've already threaded the end of the tail on my needle. So I'm going to be going here to sew on my nose. So you're just going to pick up one stitch like so and pull it. And then you need to turn it on its side. And as you work around, you need to go up one stitch and back down the next one, like so. Give it a tug. Now we need to attach it again to the body. So we're going to just go under where the nose will be. So all these are going to be invisible stitches. You're not going to be seeing these. Then we find the next stitch, which is this one here. So we're going to go through that one and down the next one. Give it a little tug. Again, we're going to go behind the nose to pick up another stitch to keep it insecure. And then we find, oh, it's gone through, we didn't want that bit, let's go back through there. Then we find the next stitch in line, which is going to be this one here. So you go up, back down the next one. And then you're going to give it a little tug. Again, go under the nose, pick up another stitch. Find your next stitch that you need, which is going to be this one here. Up and down the next one. Give it a tug. Under the nose with another stitch. Getting near the end now, so this should hopefully be the last couple of stitches. Up the next one, and then back down the one after that. If you're not sure about going underneath, you can feed it straight the way back through. As long as it's under the nose, you're not going to see it. And then come back up somewhere else. And this one is going to be our last couple. One, and the next one is going to be this one here. I'm going to go straight back through the body, and as you can see, you can't see where you have sewn. Now on the back, I'm just going to pick up a couple of stitches to secure it tightly and weave it through. Any ones you like, because you're not going to see them, they're behind the nose. Like so. So that's that bit done. You can just leave the tail inside, it's not going to hurt. So we have our nose. Now we need to work out where we're going to put our safety eyes. So if you remember, I said it was between row 21 and 22. So we're on 24 at the moment. So let's go down with our needle and work it out. So this is 24, 23, 22. So it's got to be around here, these two. So I'm going to come out one, I think. I'm going to have one here. Just make it slightly bigger with my hook. It's easier to get the safety eyes in. And then we literally just push it through the little indent that you've just made. Oh, this is where I have trouble. I've got arthritis in my hands. Oh, there's one. And then we work out the same on the other side of the nose. So there's the center. We've got one stitch showing, so we're going about this one here. Don't worry, if you make a mistake, you can take it back out and put it back in again. And again, push this one through. And there we have both of our eyes in. Now these are our safety backs, they just push on the back. And that keeps them in place. So there we have our eyes and our nose. That didn't take long. And then we can carry on with our rounds. So row 25, we're on 6 single crochet and then a decrease. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then our invisible decrease. So if you want to carry on, I'll meet you at the beginning of your next round. Row 26, we are on single crochet round again. So we're going to be doing 42 single crochets all the way around. So if you carry on, I'll meet you at the beginning of your next row. Row 27, we are on 5 single crochets and then our decrease. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then the front loops of the next 2 stitches. So if you carry on, I'll meet you back at the beginning of your next round. Row 28 is a single crochet into every stitch, so we're going to be doing 36 single crochets in this round. So if you want to carry on, I'm going to meet you at the beginning of your next row. Row 29, we are on to 4 single crochets and then your decrease. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, and then your decrease. So I'll let you carry on and I'll meet you at the beginning of your next round. Okay, so at this point I'm going to start adding some stuffing before the hole gets too small. And just squeeze it all the way around into the edges. Okay, I'm going to carry on, but as you go, add your stuffing. So on this row now, it's just a single crochet round. So we should have 30 in this round. So I will let you carry on and I will meet you at the beginning of the next row. Row 31, we are on 3 single crochets and then our decrease. We have 1, 2, 3, and then our invisible decrease. So I will let you carry on and meet you at the beginning of the next row. Row 32, and we are on 24 single crochets going all the way around. Getting a lot smaller now, so if you want to carry on, I'm going to meet you at the beginning of your next round. Row 33, we are on 2 single crochets and then our decrease. So I'll let you carry on, I'll meet you at the next one. Row 34, we are down to 18 single crochets all the way around. Remember to keep adding your stuffing as you go. And I'll meet you at the beginning of your next round. Row 35, we are just going to be doing 1 single crochet and then our decrease. It's going to get a bit fiddly from here because it's getting smaller and smaller. Like so. So if you want to carry on around, I'll meet you at the next row. Row 36, we're back to single crochets and we should be just having 12 in this round. So if you want to carry on, I'm going to meet you at the next round. Now row 37, we're going to decrease all the way around. So for every stitch has to be a decrease. So there's going to be 6 decreases in this round. Like so. So if you want to take your time, work your way around and I'll meet you at the next one. 38 is just going to be a single crochet into every stitch. So you need to obviously go through both and bring it up through the top to be able to get this one done. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and the last one is under our stitch marker, and that is number 6. Now we're going to cut a length, thread our needle, and we're going to finish this off. So what we need to do is we need to go on the next stitch, and we're going to pick up these front loops of all 6 stitches. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and this is the last one here, number 6. And now we need to give it a little tug, pushing down on this work as you do it. Like so. It's closed it all off into a nice point. Then I'm just going to feed it back through and come out somewhere down here. Like so. We snip this bit off and push on the bottom to move the stuffing up so it's got a flat bottom to sit on. And there we have our daddy so far. We just need now to do the moustache, the tufts of hair at the top, and the glasses. Okay, now for the moustache, I just need to cut some length. So it's a rough idea. It doesn't have to be exact because you can trim it. I'm just going to wrap it around my fingers a few times. And again, we can use this for the hair as well. And I'm going to cut that one and cut through there. So now we have these lengths. And I'm going to get 3 lengths for the moustache. Work out where the middle is, and then just next to his nose I'm going to go through 1 stitch like so. I'm going to grab all 3 and pull them through that stitch, and now I need to feed them through these loops. Make sure you've got them all. Do that again with my finger. When you're happy that you've got them all in place, you've got the 3 loops at the top now and you've got all the strands at the bottom, you can give it a tug to tie it on. That's one side at the moment. Let's do the other side. So we've got 1, 2 and 3. Work out where the middle is, and we're going to look at the other side of his nose. So which row did we go up on? We went up on this one, through 1 stitch, pull it through, put your fingers through to grab them. And give them all a tug to tighten it down. So there we have the moustache at the moment. It's all the wrong length, so don't worry about that. In the meantime, we're going to be separating each strand. So you literally just pop a needle through it and comb it through. Because for each one of these pieces of yarn, you've got about 6 strands. So you just separate them. If you want a bushier moustache, just add more. And then what I generally do is I feed them all the way back down to the bottom. So they're going to be the same length, and just snip where you'd like it. Get rid of that bit. And we're going to do the same for the head. And let's find the end of my yarn. How many have we got here? 1, 2, 3. I'm going to do all 5. And again, it's going to be a case of just going all the way through the top of here. Not sure if I'll get all 5 through. Let's have a go. No, let's do a couple at a time. I'll go back in, get some more. Here we have it. I've got 5 on there at the moment. Looks like I've got an end cord. Let's pull that one back out. There we have it. So we've got all 5 ends through the loops. Might have to pull them one at a time to get this tight because you've got too many strands there at the moment. There we have it. And again, we need to filter them through. To make them a bit fluffier. This one's got away with me. Let's pop that one back through. Needs to go back up there. There we go. Now I'm going to cut a finger's width on here. So this is Daddy's hair done. And now we need to work on the glasses. Now this modelling wire is very, very fine. So scissors will cut them, it's not a problem. So I'm going to cut about that much. And then I have my pencil. I'm going to wrap it around my pencil to make these glasses. Take that one out. Let's go and do the other eye. So Then I need to bend that bit back to go through the body. So there we have some glasses. Just keep bending them until you're happy with the shape. Now I'm going to trim this end because that one's quite long. So here we have the glasses. Now all we need to do is position them and feed that through your stitches, and it will hold them in place. This one needs to come up one. Come on, get in. There we go. It got caught on a bit of stuffing. So there we have our daddy onion head with his glasses and his tufts of hair and his moustache. So I hope you like this video. If you want to make the others that are in the range, we've got Mummy, we've got the child, which has got some nice hair on the top, and baby, then the pattern will be available on my Ravelry account. There'll be a link to it on the screen.